Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message Made to Feel Powerful, but really powerless. Made to feel powerful, but really powerless. Have you ever talked to an individual who said things like, I know my rights, and I know that what I'm doing is making a difference? Oh, I have all creative control over my project. Oh, I don't have to answer to anyone. I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. And then, upon closer inspection of their lifestyle, their life choices, their work, you find out that they do not have what they preach about. They are even their own false prophet because someone has sold them on a bag of tricks. They have told them that you are powerful, you are in control. But the reality is that so many people are mentally and physically and spiritually, governmentally, musically enslaved. So many are caught up in their own mind that has deceived them into believing that they are powerful. Can I tell you, the only one that is truly powerful is the one who created you. Let me say that again for someone, maybe a bit differently. The only one that is truly powerful is the one who created you. You're not in control of anything and everything that goes on with you. A long time ago, we were all brainwashed, bamboozled into believing that we could be anything and everything. And as we got older, we realized that we couldn't be anything and everything. And some folks, it was nothing more than a blessing that you didn't become everything that you wanted to become. Come on. Thank God for those that were wise that were in our paths, those that were God-fearing. Thank God for the individuals who said, let me just be straight up with you. You are not in control. Matter of fact, you are out of control. And the things that you are saying and doing doesn't make any sense. It's interesting how we can see leadership as of the time that I'm speaking, looking like a puppet on strings. Come on, and I'm talking about government leadership, and not just in our land, but in many other lands. Leaders who are puppets on strings. There are those that are behind them that pull the strings, just like you, voter, just like you, mother, just like you, cousin, and manager, and supervisor, and doctor, and teacher, and actress, and singer, and film producer, and talk show host. There is someone behind the scenes, especially when you lean on that person for a paycheck, that tells you where to go, what to do, that tells you what they want you to create and how they want you to create it, and when it's your season and when it's not your season. And some folks are so deceived because their mama's deceived and father's deceived, and then their mothers and fathers was deceived. And, we got history of men and women thinking they know something when, come on now, they don't. They know what I choose to tell you, says that one who's in power. And then behind him, there's somebody even more powerful. Truth seekers, truth speakers, a while back was telling us, pay attention to what's going on. Don't be caught up. There's a story behind the story, and you know they've been working a long time telling you that anything and everything that you uncover, that somebody tells you, that's truth. It's conspiracy. Not everything that has been presented before you on YouTube and elsewhere is conspiracy. People have exposed liars and cheats. God put them up to it. Come on. People have exposed, yes, those who enjoy messing around with children, who they want this to be normalized like nobody's business. There's no conspiracy behind fools who tell you that, listen, I was a fool at one point, but I'm no fool any longer. Here's what's happening with your money in the stock market. Here's what's happening. Somebody's like, what? You'll be attentive to that sort of information. But as long as you're taking your information from the mainstream, what is presented before you day in and day out, you're not in the know. As long as I'm quoting anything and everything that's coming from the major news outlets, there is this power behind the power that wants you to spread whatever is in mainstream media. This way, you're not focused on what's going on behind media. Like, what's the latest that this president has signed off on? And what sort of breakthroughs are happening in various medical industries concerning getting rid of some diseases or slowing down some diseases. What's in front of you? What's in front of you? That's all they're concerned about, because whatever one puts in front of you, it brainwashes you. It makes you think in the way that the individual wants you to think. Thank God that the Lord is with me. Because if I was to make a left turn and go down a left-hand path and say anything and everything, there would be those individuals that would fall over the cliff right along with me. That's why when you're listening to these people who are here, there, and everywhere on YouTube and elsewhere, you have to be discerning. You have to be the individual that says, okay, she gave me some nuggets of wisdom, some truth. Now I got to take the ball and run with it in a way where I'm going to be free, just like what she says. God says the truth will set me free rather than fight up against the truth. Not that long ago, I'm talking about the fathers who don't love their children. And there's an individual who popped up saying some foolishness because she didn't want to receive it. At the end of the day, when I get some people who fight back and who is disrespectful and who want to blatantly call out some things as, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb, or whatever, or when I get individuals who are very critical because maybe on one hand they've listened to a message and I sound very articulate speaking, right? And then I turn around and I've got this street talk about me. Oh, why do you do that? You know, you're so ignorant. You're this, that, and the other. No, you got to understand, I've been exposed to a lot of different individuals, but real individuals, truth-speaking individuals, not folks who's about trying to, fit in or go with the programming, you see, that other people have put upon them. They are folks who have awakened, and they're not about to go back to sleep. But you got those individuals who's going to come through, especially if you have a YouTube channel that exposes anything, anyone, anything. There's going to be those individuals that want you to be put back in the box. And they think by insulting you and, being disrespectful. Remember, I've been at this for 12 years. And some folks think I'm a spring chicken. So they come out and they think that they can, say whatever, do whatever. I mean, even family members have come through. You don't need to say this and whatever. You don't tell me what I need to say. This isn't your platform. This is mine. And if you don't like it, you can keep it moving. You see, God raises up soldiers, not passive, weak, silly people saying foolish things who go along with programming, who believe that anything and everything that mama and daddy and everybody else preached before them must be fact. when we know better. And see, it was dangerous for some of us to go to college, because when we went to college, we got a different perspective on college. You see, we got in those classrooms and we listened to individuals who talk to us about rhetoric and talk to us about marketing and talk to us about psychology and talk to us about a number of different things that show just how deceived, come on, that's what I took away from some of them classes, just how deceived the masses are. Once again, we got liars, we got cheaters, we got people who do some devious things and tell you that you're powerful when you're really not. You're just as enslaved as they are. And we sat up here and we were thinking, yeah, my ideas are my ideas. And then you start thinking back and you go, who was I exposed to? And was the information that I was given, was it righteous? Was it honest? Was it true? See, I started questioning some things. It always starts with a question. And then as you start to question more things, you say to yourself, oh, okay, I realize why I made the decisions that I made. You see, some folks wanted us to take complete 100% responsibility, accountability for anything and everything we ever did in our lives. Meanwhile, they're not going to, though. They're not going to take responsibility for their influence. Negative, evil, downright disturbing, you see. And so, we got those. And when those are so-called in control, they want to control others. Well, meanwhile, their minds... Their minds have made them out of control a long time ago because of the type of programming they received. We had individuals that had military programming. We had individuals, in the family with religious programming. We had individuals who were programmed based on societal standards of marriage and family. And Lord knows, back in those days, the woman was practically a slave in her own house. She couldn't speak up because she was considered to be, disrespectful, out of control. You better put her back in check, husband. So she gets put back in check. And then she's to put her children in check. And when I say in check, for those who aren't street, basically, she is told to be quiet, to toe the line, you see, or else. And or else was she was going to get slapped. She was going to get punched. She was going to get kicked. If the kids were out of control, they were going to suffer abuses as well. When people who are feeling out of control, when they come to that realization, some individuals don't take too kindly to that. This is why they go on attack mode. When I am used by the one true God, that's my programming. Right? I'm not vessel who he tells me, here's what you need to speak on to meet the people where they are. And I speak on it and they realize the truth rather than go and deal with that truth. They want to go on attack. They want to shoot the messenger. You see, I don't see where the freedom is in all of this. And you sitting up here and you talking about this and that. And I don't know. And blah, blah. Well, yeah, your programming is feminist programming. And feminist programming, we already know. And feminist programming, at the core of it, no, I'm not trying to get along with no man, and I don't need no man. And matter of fact, my sisters have been there for me, and some folks just go all the way, and they end up making a man out of the person that they're with of the same sex. Oh, yeah, I'm stepping on some toes. Because there's this type of programming that for some people, we already know it's not healthy. And when we call it out, they want to say we don't know what we're talking about. But we do know what we're talking about. And this programming in all sorts of shapes and forms have gotten some people in the type of enslavement where they cry out wanting prayer. I'm hurting inside. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be powerful, but now I'm sad. I'm depressed. I can't seem to get a break. Yeah, then they self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. They self-medicate with all sorts of sexual experiences. They self-medicate with fetishes. They self-medicate with anything that I just don't want to face the facts. And killing another human being mentally, physically, spiritually, putting them in some type of enslavement based on whatever you or someone else has gone through growing up, working at some company, being a part of some civic group, taking some oaths with some occult organization, whatever that is, it ends up showing up and showing out on someone else. Then that person goes and they recruit other people. I mean, this sort of thing I saw with MLM, multi-level marketing. They had all sorts of things infused. All sorts of things infused in their speeches, in how they were trying to get people to be a part of these things that were supposed to help others and build people up and what have you. And then you had those that were saying not all MLM is bad and all this other stuff, right? Then the same thing I saw in some of these churches where, yeah, I'm going there. Some of these churches where it was this programming where it wasn't about freedom. It was about keeping you enslaved to that minister, because that minister knew it was big business for you to keep coming and keep putting your money in the basket. You see, when is he ever going to, utilize his gifts in such a way where some folks are going to get healed? Or, the Lord is going to download a special anointing where he's going to, do some miracles in the church because God has, opened up that door for him. Instead, some of those ministers, they didn't feel very powerful. They didn't feel very powerful because they knew they didn't have that anointing upon them like they should have. Or they had it a long time ago. So they were just winging it at the pulpit, trying to... Lord Jesus, come on, trying to make themselves appear like they're powerful when they're really not. And so there's some illusion there when somebody has a really nice car and a big mansion, there's an illusion there in the entertainment industry. Gotta go there. Come on, see, some folks want you to just stay where the church is and talk about the minister, the messed up minister, right? No, I'm going there with some of those idols. I'm going there where the athletes are. I'm going there where the singers and dancers and the actresses are. You got individuals who have creative control over these different projects, and they'll tell individuals that, oh, you have input. Yeah, you have such a minuscule input on what's happening with you, but they got all the rest of the control. And so they tell individuals where to stand, where to sit, where to go, and everything else. And if money is funny, they even will bring about some other things that you can do to make more money. And it's usually dark. It's usually the types of things that children of darkness gravitate to. While they'll tell everybody else, well, I made that decision. And so therefore, because I made that decision, I am where I am today. And I'm a hard worker. Yeah, some folks were hard workers, all right. Hard workers in bedrooms, laying on backs. Okay. There was some hard work, all right. And that's the truth of the truth, on the truth, all day truth. And people want to walk in their footsteps. Well, hey, I do that stuff for free. Out here dating all these losers. So might as well. See? So they convince themselves that they're in control by going over there in an area where it's nothing more than demonic types of activity. The minister's doing some greedy stuff, and there's some folks that's doing some sexual stuff, And then there's the one who sits up there in the family who says, I always been in control. Yep. There's been some individuals, all right, that's been in control of everybody else but themselves. And then they want to run around here and say this one and that one don't have no business telling my business and all this other stuff. No, any business that some folks think is their business is God's business, especially when you're messing with the children of God. And then the things that you did long time ago, come on, we're a witness. If you mess with children of God way back then, it's reaping season. See, God said, I gave men as well as women ample opportunity to take control of their spiritual condition. And you could have done that. You could have confessed sin. You could have repented. You could have got under the blood covering of Jesus. You could have been around saints that will pray for you. You could have talked to the counselors that, are there to help you, bring you up out of some things, right? Some of us, we were telling some people these sorts of things in all sorts of shapes, ways, sizes, sent all sorts of smoke signals and so forth, and they still didn't want to do what was right. So God says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. For years, you were out of control, saint, that fell by the wayside, sinner, that can't seem to get a break. So you continue to look for all sorts of breaks in all sorts of ways. So now I'm going to expose you. Well, the enemy shows up and says, oh no, that's my child, right? Child of darkness. Lord, please don't. And the God continues. And so the enemy will put some people up to saying some things like, yeah, that's a lie. And you don't know what you're talking about. You always was that one that was troubled. You got a lot of nerve talking about this one and that one. And God didn't tell you. God wouldn't, you see. And all of that is to send you off into that world of feeling powerless. Because as you walk with the Lord, you can become genuinely powerful as the Lord leads, as the Lord guides, but in a humble sort of way, you see. But you got those individuals that they will not be humble about too much of anything. All they want is what they want, when they want it, how they want it. And to you know what with everyone else. So today, I had to go there in terms of these individuals who are deceived into believing that they're powerful because they do something small. When truth shows up and says, I really want to tell you that no, some of these things, okay, are not bad, right? And we're talking about the things that aren't demonic. There are those simple things, right? Like a person going and, they want to vote, or a person who says that, well, I just want to go here, or I just want to write a paragraph or two in a movie, or I just want to be a contributor of this project, right? There's all these different things, little small things that people do, right? And the Lord's like, well, that right there, that's not a bad thing. It's not immoral. It's not unrighteous. You've been on this thing for a while now. It's okay, right? There's those things that anybody and everybody would not call it out as wrong, immoral, nothing like that. But here's the thing that some folks don't want to deal with. That gesture, that act doesn't make you powerful. Doesn't make you powerful. Doesn't make anything happen other than what those who are powerful will allow. Okay? And when we stay in that mindset of truth where it is what it is, we know that there's more than meets the eye, we're not deceived. My perspective is in the right place. I'm not going down marketing's trail. I'm not believing what the PR people tell me. I'm not sitting up here perpetuating another cycle of brainwashing by telling people things that's untrue, that's not factual. When we look at history, we know that history shows where time and time again, elitist organizations have done all sorts of things to keep individuals enslaved mentally, physically, spiritually. They have used everything from our textbooks back when we were in school to even manipulating what we see, what we feel, what we smell, what we hear. We have seen this from the billboards that show chart-topping artists, and we know that music wasn't that good. But the people, not going there with ya. We know some people got money, and they know how to do some things. We know that, even with these presidents over centuries, who got the deepest pockets? Who are the special interest groups? Let's follow the money trail. And, of course, there are those individuals that are like props. They're used and they're abused. If you can see that with the workplace, if you can see that with family, then you should be able to see that with government. You should be able to see that with the civic associations, the fraternal groups, the sorors. You should be able to see it. Well, I thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You have been so enlightened and inspired. May the Lord be with you. Feel free to check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube in Enterprise 7. Feel free to give. We do welcome giving on this channel, and thank you in advance. Blessings to you.